It's a new Inspiration Wednesday, and I'm going to start off by taping and gessoing as usual. So I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll come back, and hopefully by the time I'm done with that, I have an idea of what to do for this week. Crazy idea. You know, I've been doing the collage. What if I use fabric today? So I actually hoard fabric. And I have this fabric. I would say it's almost like a canvas. And I bought whatever they had left on the bolt. So I have lots of yards of it. It's just a plain, like you could even use regular canvas and stamp on it, or muslin or something. But I think I'm actually going to cover this. Yes, I am. I'm going to cover this with some fabric. So let's see, I'll get in here. Clearly I've used some of it. Yeah, I have a lot of it. I know you're like, where did you get it? I got it at Hobby Lobby. I got it forever ago because I'm a hoarder. And I think that's wide enough. And I'll just get a scissor because you can actually cut things. Give it a little trim or a little slice and then tear, because fabric tears in a straight line. So let's just, and of course I'm doing this upside down. And of course I'll let it kind of hang over. And so I put that little snip in there. And it does tear better in one direction than the other. Most likely going against the grain. So yeah, that fits in there. And I know you're probably going to say, well, I can't believe you're going to use a fabric I can't get. Yeah, because I'm a hoarder. And I'm sure you're hoarding something. You could totally use a pattern too. Like, I don't really even know what I'm doing from this point on. Outside of right now, I'm folding my fabric back up. So hopefully I can fit it back in the drawer, because I'm thinking it might not. And I think I'm going to use some matte medium. Maybe gel medium, actually, because it's thicker. Get that down, and maybe I'll even... It's got this cool little crinkly edge. I'm going to keep that, probably for me tearing. I should do the inclusion, or maybe I cover up the inclusion. Or maybe I put a slit in it, stick the inclusion through. I don't really know today. I don't really know. Or I could just tear it and kind of just keep one. Oh, that's a good idea, because that's going to be lots of torn edges, right? So I'm thinking... a little snip here. Okay, so that's one juicy, lovely piece. Okay, I'll glue that down with some matte medium, and I can even have it hang out the edges, because I love stick outs. And then I can put this other side here and stick that down, and I'll try to trim this one probably a little closer. And then I can even glue fabric. I can glue a different pattern. Ooh, well now we're opening up doors. Do I make, see, that one fits a little better. Do I make this one a different pattern? Oh, well that's exciting. Let me trim this one down. I've got to think. This is a stall tactic, so I can figure out what the heck I want to do. Because I could go in and totally make it monochromatic and just do that same pattern, right? But I have 50,000 pieces of fabric, so I could go crazy. Such a decision, because I've got some cool fabrics in here too. Like, just like a burst of color would be awesome. But I think I'm just going to go in with the same thing, because I think that might just blow my mind a little bit, trying to figure that out. And maybe I'll just kind of tear this. That might even be, let's see if it's long enough. I think it's long enough that if I tear it in half, I'm just talking out loud now. I don't even know what I'm doing. But that's okay. We're all friends here. The strings, like, they have to go in there, right? Because they're good. So that. And then cut that. Oh. This is exciting. Oh. Yay. Okay, because I think even though it doesn't fit perfectly, that's still going to make me happy. What is perfect anyway, right? Oh yes. Yes. Oh yes. Okay, I'm just gonna go get some matte medium, and then I'll come back, or gel medium, and I'll come back and I'll just time lapse my giddy motions, and you won't be able to hear me, but I will be totally giddy and touching myself. Okay, I've got my gel medium. I'm ready to just go layer this in. Now gel medium, I'm actually do center first. Maybe I should. The gel medium will actually act like it'll bond the fabric directly to this paper. It kind of gets in the fibers. It's thick enough to do that. Could you use something else? Sure. You could use Mod Podge, you can use whatever. I just prefer, if I have my druthers, that's what I'm going to use, and I just think that's the right adhesive for the job, but doesn't matter if you use that, no. Can I put it on top of this? Sure, there's no reason why I can't. You can just go like that, and can make it perfect or not. What happens is, if you put this on top, well, first of all, underneath, you're going to adhere it. And you can even make it wrinkly. Like, I'm thinking, there's no reason to put this on there perfect, right? Have edges curling up over. If you put on just underneath, basically your top layer will still be porous. If you put on top, you're taking the porousness out. So depending on what application you're putting on top of this paper might change. Since I have no idea where I'm going outside of just putting this down, I'm not gonna concentrate taking the porousness out, but if it happens, I'm okay with that too, because I'm really just having a moment here with my fabric. Alright, so some of you may be thinking, well, I don't have that cool fabric, I can't do this. So I want to help you think a little bit outside of the box this week. Number one, you can take muslin or canvas or some kind of cheapy fabric and take a Sharpie to it and do exactly that. The only thing I want you to watch out for is bleeding. So what you could do is take a little matte medium, which is that clear acrylic paint, and put that on there and then write on it, and then it won't bleed into the fabric, do you know what I'm saying? Or you could just let it bleed into the fabric and see what you get. You could take an ink pen to it. You could totally take like just paper and do this and not have the fabric. An old t-shirt, your kids' clothing that they've grown out of or ripped up, or a dish towel, or anything you can think of. Even actually, as I'm sitting here, this tape is the same color as the fabric masking tape, and then you can write on that. So don't limit yourself because I've got fabric. I just was like, what am I gonna do today? I opened my drawers, there was this fabric, and I'm like, that's what I'm gonna use. Totally spontaneous, and I still don't know where I'm going from this. All I know is I've got some porous, textural fabric glued to the background of these pages, and I hope like Dickens that I can get some kind of idea to finish this Inspiration Wednesday out, but just kind of have fun with this one. You can even use, which might be cool, for a little bit more masculine effect, just take a pair of jeans and put that denim down here. So just, you know, just kind of have fun with what you've got and get something textural, printed text, something like that on the background. All right, so what I think I'm gonna do, this is not even dry at all, but I know it's not gonna move. I'm gonna go in with some gesso and just white out some areas. I have an entire board on Pinterest, it's just black and white, and I kind of went to it, and most everything is literally just black and white. There's little pops of color, but for the most part, I want to block some of this. I want to give some resting space to this. So I'm just going to go in with some gesso. I'm not putting that clear coat on top. Doesn't mean I won't after even I gesso, but I just want to get some resting area in here. Outside of that, I don't know what I'm doing, but I just want to get a little white stuff in there. All right, so that's all well and good. And as I was applying it, I was finding that that black kept bleeding through. So I'm thinking, that's great. I wouldn't not do that. I like that. But I'm gonna add, even on top of that now, some super heavy gesso. And this is, again, just what it reads, but it should black out or white out those areas with a nice thick, and I'm gonna apply it thick. I already love texture, so I'm just gonna, in addition to that, kind of put some of that on there. All right, so incomplete thought. I totally could be feeling the silhouettes. So just if you've not played with these, they're basically the positive and negative of space. And I am so drawn. I have an entire Pinterest board of these embedded silhouettes. They're just various artists that basically paint these really non-shapen silhouettes. You can totally read them as a silhouette, yet they're not defined. So I have made my own versions of these. And like if you had like crazy artwork in the background, lots of color, you could put this down and paint around it, and then that silhouette would be crazy color. Well, in this sense, I think I might actually put this down and make the silhouette. And like, I'm thinking maybe more than one, I don't know. And then I also have this one, which is the 3 silhouette. I don't even know if you can see it, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna do this one. And this one is really the same silhouette, only I originally in my, because these are made from my artwork. I can't find the other, oh, there she is. Originally in my artwork, I had this kind of thing. I had like this kind of dressing on there, and I love that. So then I thought, well, wouldn't it be cool if like you could make this like, you know, a simplified one and then maybe put one over it. So that's why they're the same shape, but one's a little bit more dramatic. So you could make it and then kind of like embellish it with the dressing thing. So, but I tend to love this one instead of this one when I go in. I just like that. If I'm gonna put modeling paste through it, I'm gonna want that little thing in there. And I'm thinking, I've already got this texture here. Do I wanna use that? Do I not? Do I wanna, I don't know. I don't know. How about that? I just don't know. I typically, like I said, always go to the right. How about I just shut up and just do it? That's what I'm gonna do. So I need some light modeling paste. And this is regular modeling paste. Let's see if I get some light. Yeah. That just takes less time to dry. And since I am really taking my time with this Inspiration Wednesday, for lack of wanting to cover up what I've got there, this might be in my best interest. So I'm getting rid of that texture, but I'm gonna go with I don't care. So I'm gonna put this fairly thick, I think. Just take a palette knife with that light modeling paste. You could use joint compound, you could use regular modeling paste, you could use super heavy gesso, whatever you got. You can freehand your own stencil, you can, I don't know, you can do anything. That's like a song. I'm sure that's what you can do. No, I'm sorry, I won't say. All right, I'll just go in here, try to get all, because there's lots of texture underneath here, which I like. Maybe I should keep that. I think I'm missing some areas here. Let's see. Yay! Okay, I love that. I know you're thinking, why do I want that creepy chick on there? It just makes me happy. I've got extra stuff on here, so I can either put another person, which that would be weird because it'd be odd numbers, but I can actually scrape this off and reuse it. Push that out of the way. 2 things. I can get my junk book, which probably would be a better way to do this. Let me get my junk smush book. And basically I would take a page and let's go on this one. Let's just go over here. And I would just use the residue. And instead of just cleaning it off and getting rid of it, I'm trying to use it to put into here. Also, I can just use it to scrape stuff off. If I don't want to really leave a silhouette, I could just scrape it and then take it off there, put it back in my jar. But let's see what we get. Yeah, that's, oh look, she's got some like, whew, that's kind of cool. I'm totally off camera. Why didn't you say something? Yeah, let me see one more residue guy. Yeah. Alright, that's it. I'm gonna let that modeling paste dry and I'll be back. Alright, so that's dry, but then I thought, what if I gave her a wing? So if I took another stencil and put this wing on her. So that's what I think I'm gonna do next. I'm gonna take the modeling paste and add this wing so it looks like it's coming from behind her. At least I hope I am. But that kind of made my day. So maybe you'd put the wing down first, or maybe not, I don't know. This is my first wing. Oh, I can even put them on either side of her. No, I'm just gonna do one. Don't go crazy, I've talked myself off that ledge. So let's see, where do I want her wing? Does it come, oh, does it come up? All right, so you see how that's like on top of her? Well, she can't have a wing coming off of her breast. That's just weird. So I'm gonna take a baby wipe and just kind of wipe this back so that I can bring out my figure again, but kind of make the wing. I could also use my stencil. Lord knows where I put it, but I really want the other part of it, but I can kind of just press this in. Let's see if that works. Oh, that worked. I don't know, I thought I was gonna take it off, and then I decided that, I don't know, I liked it. It kind of looks shroudy and the wing, and I don't know. I'm just gonna keep it. This has to be glazed at some point, you know that, right? So I'm gonna have to let this dry. And I'll be back. All right, so that is dry. It's been actually a couple days. And I've got a couple things on. I'm just gonna widen this out so you can see. Move my lamp. So I've got some Daniel Smith watercolor here. I'm thinking about going through this with watercolor. Doesn't mean I won't go over it with paint. I'm just kind of like testing the waters here. Speaking of water, that's my segue. And then I have my Masterson rinse well. Can you see this? So it's like, you know, like if you leave your cat food and water, it can dispense itself. Like as they drink the water, more comes out. That's kind of what this is. But it's for watercolor. So basically I can push the button, the dirty water goes down, and then it refills itself with water, which is just the coolest thing when you're working with watercolor, because you know, once you stick your brush in the water, it's dirty. So I always take that out when I'm using watercolor because I don't really like to stick it in my water bucket I have acrylic paints in. So anyway, I am gonna go over this. I have a little water brush and I may switch to a regular brush, I'm not sure, but I've got black tourmaline. This is the Daniel Smith watercolor. If you've never used these, do you have to? No, you don't have to go out and just go buy Daniel Smith watercolor. Will you want to? Probably, because they're just so rich and pigmented. So I'm just coming through. Look at that, shows all the detail. And that's kind of what I was thinking. If I go through the watercolor, then maybe all that detail will show even more so. And I can squeeze the water brush just to get some water out there. So Daniel Smith watercolor is kind of a different animal than all other watercolors. It's really highly pigmented. It's got some rich micas in it. It's just, it's like super high-end fabulousness. And the pigment is just bold. Like typically watercolor, like the color just kind of fades away. And the Daniel Smith, it just stays rich and beautiful. So you're like, why are you painting your angel black? I don't know, it just makes me feel good. How crazy is that? So I'm playing. I don't really know where this is gonna go or how this is gonna kind of evolve, but I'm just gonna go through. And I may, like I said, go through this one swipe with the watercolor and then come back in with a little paint. I'm not sure. But, you know, I don't know. I really just don't know. I should stop talking. I'm just gonna play. I'm gonna play with this watercolor, play with putting in some layers. I might even throw in some other colors. I'm not sure, but I'm really liking this so far. So I'll just play. Okay, so I'm really, really liking how that's kind of falling back. And this is all a matter of layers, so if you're not seeing it now, don't worry. You know, maybe I'll eventually see it. Maybe I will. Now I'm trying to get, I have some Titan Buff here, but apparently I chose to mix it with some green or yellow at some point, and now I have Titan Buff Yellow. So I'm thinking, just get a little bit of skin, a little bit of shadow going on here. I'm just playing. I'm picking up color. This is Titan Buff Watercolor, again by Daniel Smith. I mean, how can that not be the most fabulous thing ever? But I'm just putting on some of that here just to delineate that that's a human, not a ghost. And this will just be a matter of layers and playing. So let's keep going. Taking a couple colors of blue out. I'm not really sure. I want to do some backgroundy stuff. So I took some blue. Of course I took teal, cobalt blue, and then manganese blue hue. And I'm just going to put that on a little palette paper here. And probably some gesso with that so that I can blend. I don't want it too potent. I don't really know what I'm doing, like I said. I may even change my mind on these colors now that I have them out on my palette. But I'm just going to kind of play around. Any colors will do, but I am switching from watercolor to acrylic. Bringing home that idea of mixed media and a little gesso on my palette. I think I'm going to go in. A little gesso on my finger. I'm going to start with a little of this manganese blue. It's kind of been a new favorite of mine. And I'm gonna start over here, and I'm just gonna almost out of horizon, I think. Just kind of go in here. I might change my mind 100 times, but just. This is one of my favorite brushes. I decided to take that out and see if I can't get to blendability. It's beaten to hell. I've had it for at least 2 years. But it's kind of a good, I call it a scuffing brush. I think I can blend and scuff color in there. That's not a real thing, by the way. Just know that I just made that up. Scuffing brush. You know, one of those scuffing brushes. Don't go into your local store and be like, do you have one of those scuffing brushes? They're like, what? To dry it a little, and then I thought, you know what if I do just come in with black here, and it is pure black, and I'm going to start over here, and I thought if it's wet a little bit, maybe it'll blend a little bit when I get there. So yeah, like that. I'm thinking ooh, that's what I'm thinking, ooh. So I'm just gonna see what that does. This is making me really incredibly happy right now. So let's just see what we get. I dried that a little, and I really should have put art guard on my hands before I started. I always forget. Because black does, you know, I don't need black fingernails. So I'm thinking, now I'm coming in with white. I know, it's just, everything is a contradiction. And I'm loving that. This is actually gesso, not white paint. I use them interchangeably. So I buy gesso by, you know, the gallon. So it's just cheaper, I think, for me to just use gesso. And because I like texture, usually it's the texture people don't want when they're using like gesso versus using paint. But I like texture, so I'm alright with it. I think I want something in here, so I am going to take the water brush, just because I'm lazy, really. I'm going to take that cobalt blue, and I'm just going to come in here. So this should be a super diluted blue. Might even mix it up with something, but I thought that might look like a shadow. This week I can't stop layering stuff, so I'm thinking, what if I did this and overlapped it? Now here's the potential problem. I've got lots of depths here, so this obviously isn't as deep as this, so I'm going to try to make it that you can read it. So I'm going to have to be really patient, which clearly we all know I have a lot of, to see if I can't get it to do that. So the art of possibility, let's see if that's true. That really didn't come out the way I was expecting. It kind of came out better. The word art, which is clearly the word that I wanted in there, came out super texturized and thick, and I'm going to leave it just like that. I'm going to let it dry. I used light modeling paste because I wanted to dry quicker. It's airier. It should accept color a little bit nicer. It's not as resistant. And you'll see I've got stuff on the body, which is totally what I want, and this has to be clean. So just to let you know, yes, I use an extra amount of this molding paste on here. I'm going to get my smush book that, you know, is always kind of open somewhere near me. And let's see. I've got a whole bunch of pages I've been throwing stuff into. This is kind of a good one. I'm going to use the page as kind of the catch-all. I'm going to scrape that off and put it back in the tub because that's reusable. And I might get an image on the bottom too. So just know you can totally reuse this stuff. And then like, look, I've got some kind of smushy thing on the book. Then I clean the stencil. I come back when that's dry. Lord knows how long it'll take to dry. And I'll keep making layers. That is in no way, shape, or form dry. But I thought I wanted to just put a little bit more distinction. So that's where I'm going to go back with the watercolor. And I'm just going to go back in here and with the water brush, just add a little bit more shadow. It's going to be subtle, but it's going to be subtle enough to just cast some distinction in there. As I'm sitting here just kind of staring at it, waiting for paint to dry really, I'm just going to go back in with that watercolor around the face. Because, you know, after all that dripping, I took out a lot of that tone the watercolor will reconstitute. So I'm just going to put that back in. So clearly this is not dry, and I have taken a heat gun to it, but it's dry enough to start playing with. So I'm going to take a little bit more of that black watercolor. I'm just going to shadow underneath. I'm thinking gold. Crazy, right? I am. I'm thinking gold. But I want to cast some kind of shadow. The watercolor is the perfect way to do that. So I'm just going underneath here. Can blend it in, blend it out. Put it on too much, take it off. I'm just going to do that, and then I'll come back. I thought about silver and I thought about copper, but then still went back to gold. So I'm going to put a little bit of this gold. And I'm thinking why I like it is because, you know, blue and yellow, blue and orange are complementing colors, and this is kind of an orangey, goldish, whatever, you know. So I'm thinking taking my finger and just going over the top of this stuff. And it's going to be subtle unless I go back over it and keep going back over it, but yeah. Oh, come on now, that's a lot. Oh. Yay! Ah, ooh. The angels are truly singing. I am just about beside myself with giddiness. Oh, I'm about to just fall over. I was so excited about this page. I'm going to admit in the beginning I was like, I know that I like these two things together, but can I pull it out in the end? Oh, yes I can. So I absolutely love this. Screw this side of the page, people. Who cares? Who cares? Hello. Happy. That I have just shot my load on that. I don't need to do another thing except for put a date on there, but that is absolute, that's joy. That needs to be on a big canvas. That just, wow. I need to probably stop being so emotional on these things because someone's going to write a letter and commit me someday. But here's what I have to say about this week. It really wasn't about the background. It's about the journey. It was about every step that I made that led me to this. And I know that sounds silly, like, clearly, Donna, you must have had a plan of where it was going. No. Forward motion is the key to art. It just always is. Picking up something and just doing it. And yes, in the end, did it all look like, oh, she meant it to be that way? Probably. Did I? No. This is just such a cathartic type of like, it's like a purging process. You just get the ideas out. So anyway, I'm emotional, so I'll just start rambling. So here's some things that I think is really cool. Well, I might be a little biased, but I'm thinking the two stencils, well, they're a must-have. I think I might have to always put them together now because they're totally making me want to touch myself. So this one, anyway, I also make in a 30-inch size because I love it that much. So just know that I already love it. The art of possibility written on top, again, really wasn't about, when I was choosing it, about the words as much as it was about having something layering in a horizontal position over it that was something that was legible. And the fact that it wasn't perfect, but the word art was, angels singing, yes. The gold, everybody must have a bottle of gold. You don't need a bottle bigger than this. This bottle I've had for probably 4 years, and it's maybe a third left in it. So just a little bit of gold transforms it. And certainly this could be any metallic. You can use copper or silver or pewter or whatever it is, but that, So I'm gonna take a little breath. I'm gonna walk away because I might, might need a cigarette after all that. It was so fabulous. So I'm just gonna walk away from this. Could be some ink drops because I haven't dropped some India ink in a while, and that might be fun. So I'll get a tag, and will this sign, seal, and deliver this sucker? Let's drop some India ink. I haven't done that in a while. I don't know if I've done that at all on this Inspiration Wednesday. So let's do, I forget how excited that makes me. So if you just drop them from a pie, they kind of splatter, and you encourage it to splat. And I've got to have 3s, so where do I want that one? All right, so it's at least 3. And then, so I've encouraged a splat, and then you just kind of shake it, and then you get little residual friends, little tiny splattery friends that join it. We have to try to get some over here without, oh yay, yes. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry. Maybe I'll do a big spot on the other side, but for right now, let's make it. Here, while that's drying, let's stamp me up a date stamp here, August 5th. Where to put that on now? Ooh, I can put gold on it. Yeah. I can even put white. I guess I just have that laying here, so I know what you're thinking. Why are you putting white on that? Here's the water. We'll whitewash it out. Put a little gold. Oh. I'm just having a fun time with myself. Oh, did you see that? I just took the white paint, spotted it on there. I'm just really having a ball with myself today. All right, so I got that little whitewash thing going, and yeah, that made me really happy. I've got a little bit of that gold left here. I'll just put that on there. Why not? Because I can. All right, people, so I dropped my black drops. I got a little gold on my whitewash tag, and I was saying nothing's over here. Oh, the tag will be. Staple that sucker on there. 1, 2, 3, whoop, whoop. All right, so that's it. Inspiration Wednesday. I will say this one took me probably about a week and a half just for drying time, walking away, getting distracted, coming back to it. But you know what, sometimes that's the bonus of doing that you're not kind of doing it in one sitting, and you can kind of take a breather, come back with fresh eyes. But this, I love this. I absolutely love it. So this week, have fun with molding paste, apparently. That's the lesson to take away from this. Have fun with molding paste and paint and just play. All right, so I'll see you back here, same time, same place. Next Inspiration Wednesday. Bye, Renee Logan.